Hey, good morning, guys. What is going on out there today? It is Brent Abel here at webtennis.com. Another start to a spectacular day here in the California desert. Looking forward to some doubles this morning out on the grass. And what else we got going today? I don't know. Maybe a little workout this afternoon, either on the court or maybe the stationary bike or one of those things. Hey, look, guys, I hope you enjoyed yesterday's session with Jeff. Got a lot of really great feedback, and a lot of you were interested in the training aids that Jeff mentioned during the video yesterday. So if you still have not reached out to me to get that list, to get the links of the training aids that he's been using, just let me know. Shoot me an email, brent@webtennis.com. More than happy to get that list to you. Guys, what we're going to work on today is something that we've talked about before, and there's lots of different ways to think about it. It's part of the mental game. It's, managing the mediocre. It's kind of trusting the average. It really gets back to, do you believe in bigger targets? And for lots of players, and I've been guilty of this until maybe the last few years, maybe the last 10 years, of really thinking that I got to thread the needle to be able to compete, especially against someone who is, on paper, a higher ranked player than I am. And I'm going to share a couple stories with you today about why that no longer is the case for me, and why that means that I feel like I'm winning more matches because of it. So look, before we get into that, a couple things. If you're brand new to web tennis and my coaching online, welcome. We don't do hype here. We don't tell you that we've got the answer to how to never get passed up at net again. Oh boy. Among other things, right? So we really deal with reality in terms of where you are age group wise and what you can expect in terms of, the skill level in that specific age group, and really what it's going to take to be able to move the needle for you, to be able to take your average skill level. And I've talked a lot about that before, right? The skill level range. We all play within a certain range. Some days, some sets, some games, right? Some points. We're at the very, very top of our skill level. And then the next point, we can be kind of a lot lower. And most players think they've got to raise the top level of their skill level range up, kind of drag the whole package up. And really, confidence is built when you take the top of your skill level range and you bring the bottom up closer to it. And one of the ways you do that is what we're going to work on today, is really trusting the mediocre, is really trusting big targets. But guys, look, if you're brand new, welcome. And I've got a couple of free courses for you over at webtennis.com. Just go on over there. You can drop in a first name and email address and then click the button, and you'll get access to creating your free membership, your free web tennis player membership. And you'll see those, I think it's right now, 3 free courses you can get. The most popular one right now is the Topspin Second Serve. If you're struggling with double faults, if you're throwing in the second serve, but it's just sitting up begging that returner, singles and or doubles, to unload, I want to help you. Get more power, but in the same time, be able to control that power with the right kind of spin that will not only create a nice margin of safety over the top of the net, but also have a nice bounce out of that box, which worst case, start the point neutral, right? Really don't give that returner the advantage. That is webtennis.com. Look, guys, if you're really one of those few players that interested in moving the needle on your skill level range, really trying to move it up, then go ahead. If you're over at YouTube, click the subscribe button and then that notification bell, so you get notified every time I upload either new pre-recorded content or when we go live, as we are 7 around 7 out here on the West Coast. What else have I got for you? If this is the kind of thing you're working on, there's really 4 main categories in the game that we need to work on. Number 1 is technique. My belief is we got to pare away unneeded technique. So trying to go minimalist so that we can become much more of a consistent shot maker. Number 2 are tactics, singles and doubles. Number 3 is the mental game, which we're going to work on today. And then 4th is fitness. physical that Jeff and I talked about yesterday. And so, look, if you're into the mental part, thinking that that's really a crucial area of the game, click the like button, click that share button. So I know that this is the kind of stuff that I need to pump out more for you. So, guys, look, and then finally, the last thing is, if you're struggling with one part of your game, a very specific part that you just can't get figured out, I'm more than happy to do some private one-on-one Zoom coaching session with you. Just shoot me an email, brent@webtennis.com, and I'll get back to you with how that works, the price, the cost, all that kind of stuff. brent@webtennis.com, and you can see if it's possibly a good fit for you. So, guys, today let's talk about bigger targets. And let me. I'm just going to bring up just a picture here. I think it's pretty common in our playing, and that is especially in doubles where the targets feel a lot smaller, especially on the return to serve, is that the perception that we have, and this is a return to serve by yours truly, is that the perception we have is because of the server's partner up here. The perception is we've got to really thread the needle. We got to hit something big. We've got to at least hit something big to get it by that player. But number two, we got to hit it big so we don't give the server, whether they're staying back or whether they're transitioning, that we don't give them, something that they can really work with, right? And so invariably what happens is we're inconsistent with our shot making because of that perception that we've got to have smaller targets. Smaller targets, meaning in this case, probably lower or closer to the net. And the reality is that if this player is rarely moving, and let's be honest, most players in doubles are not poaching. If they do, then look, you've got a couple of options on this thing. Number one is just drive it right at them, right? You don't need to go up the line where that's a smaller target, right? If you're afraid that if you go at them, that gives them the advantage, it's not true, right? Typically, if you go right at them, directly at this net player, you don't have to overcook it, don't have to hit the biggest shot. But what you're looking for is to tie up their volley stroke technique. They're probably going to get it back. That's okay. But either they're going to put something up for your partner to clean up with here, or they're going to give you an easier ball to be able to approach on for your second shot. And of course, the other one is the lob, right? So if you've got this player up here who loves to poach, then let them know that there's at least two possibilities that they're going to have to deal with. Number one, directly at them, or the lob. And those are both, in my mind, they're big targets. You don't have to hit a ball directly at them that just barely skims over the top of the net. Get it at them chest high, and you're going to be fine. The lob doesn't have to be perfect, right? If you push them back behind the service line, the chances are the overhead might come back, but obviously it's not going to be as big as if they're standing inside the service line. So I want you to start thinking more about, especially in singles, is to start thinking about a bigger target. And to me, and I can't prove this, I don't have the data, but I know for sure, I guess it's a slam dunk hunch, is that over the last 10 years, certainly over the last 10 years, I've had my best results in terms of singles and doubles, and in the husband-wife thing. I've won way more gold balls than I ever did before because I stopped thinking about small targets. I stopped thinking I got to play so close to the net. I stopped thinking I got to play so close to the sideline or to the baseline. And once I got comfortable with managing the mediocre, meaning allowing, and Jeff Jacklich came up with this term when we started doing gold ball hunting back in January of 2019. One of the first things he said is you got to allow your opponent to touch the ball. It's okay. And really that gave me the clarity of what I'd been doing over the last 10 years or so, which was which was winning more points by allowing my opponent to touch the ball. What does that mean? Well, if that means a higher target above the top of the net, if that means having it land inside the middle of that cross-court quadrant, right, or up the line quadrant, not flirting with the lines and letting them contribute to your winning the point, then you got to trust that. You really have to trust it. And, you know, that means that, yeah, you might stay in the point a shot or two more. You know, if that's a problem for you because you're feeling like fitness wise, oh boy, you know, well, I got to get rid of the point. I mean, I got to get the point over because I can't stay in this point too long because, you know, I'm going to get beat up. I'm going to get winded. I won't be able to play the next couple of points too well. That's a controllable. You can get out there and work on your fitness and make sure that you can start to stay in a point a shot or two longer if that's what's needed, right? And so you got to do that. If you want some help with that, shoot me an email, brent@webtennis.com. More than happy to share with you my diet, my supplements, my training program that I feel like I can go out there with anybody. I don't care how great the pusher is. If they're going to keep me out there for 3 hours, bring it on. I'm happy to do that, right? Used to not be that way. I used to feel, even though I felt I was pretty fit, I still felt, darn it, I got to get the point over. And so, look, I want you to start really trusting that a bigger target is going to get the job done. You don't have to flirt with just barely making it over the top of the net or going close to the sidelines. You do not have to do that. I want you to get out there today in your warm-up, and I want you to start thinking about what's a really safe height over the top of the net. And rather, you know, and I used to think that, well, you know, if I'm closer to the net, that means I'm a better player. Wrong. I mean, you know, you look at the tour now. I was watching Fed the other day. Even though he lost that second round match, Roger had a match point, ended up losing at 7-5 in the third. But I remember Fred Robinson, the great senior player, lefty from North Carolina, from Charlotte, and he once said he did a study on Fed. He charted one of his matches, and he looked at every one of his cross court forehands and backhands. And way and above, the average was the ball was landing in the middle of the cross-court quadrant. It wasn't close to the baseline. It wasn't close to the sideline. And it makes sense because I don't think there's anyone out there that every time you decide I'm going cross-court and I'm going to hit this ball exactly 3 feet inside the baseline, 3 feet inside the baseline, that you can intentionally do that over and over and over again. You just can't do that. So if your target is a certain height above the net, a bigger target, and your target is to land it, I mean, a quality stroke, I'm not talking about just pushing the ball over there, but giving it a quality swing and having the target landing inside the middle of that cross-court quadrant, blah, 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 is that you're going to find that, well, if you're a hair early, okay, you're all right. If you're a hair late, well, it goes right up the middle at the guy. If you're a hair deep, you're inside the baseline, right? So there you have it. There you have it. I think you're going to find that you win more points, more games, more sets, more matches by managing what you think is mediocre tennis, right? Which is just going for bigger targets, trusting it, allowing that opponent or opponents in doubles touch the ball, and you're going to find that either they miss or that you get another ball back that is easier than the one that you just played. Now, is it a guarantee? No. Is it a guarantee like the headline I read today that, you know, how to never get passed again up at net? God, that stuff drives me nuts. You got to be kidding me. Tennis is not played that well. There's no formula. There's no guarantee. We can't cover 100% of the court 100% of the time. The court's too big. None of the pros can do it. If the pros can't do it, why could we possibly do it? We can't. So what we do is we manage the average. We manage the mediocre, and we get okay with allowing that opponent to touch the ball and assuming it's going to come back, and we really trust that it's okay, we'll just take it from there. So, bit of a rant this morning, guys. Triggered by some of these. Anyway, look, take a big deep breath, Brent. All right, it is time. Look, guys, hope you enjoyed today. Let me know in the comments what's on your mind with today's topic about any way you want to think about it. Managing the mediocre, trusting big targets, being okay if they touch the ball, being okay if the ball comes back, thinking that, well, if I've got to stay in the point a little bit longer, that's fine. Let me know what's on your mind with this stuff today. Down below in the comment section, you can direct message me over at Facebook, or always shoot me an email, brent@webtennis.com. Guys, that's it for me today. It is time. Get out there. Help someone else have a spectacular day. Guys, we'll do this again soon.